This is The Mirror with Sarah and Ryan. We are two friends trying to heal and create community together with the magic of tarot and energy healing. This is your time to reflect and receive. So let's get into it. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
It's nice to check in with you today. We're recording this the day after Christmas, and in Canada, that's called Boxing Day. And I'm doing really well. I had a wonderful holiday season with my family, and I'm ready to kind of like maybe like take back some of my energy now, and I'm ready to kind of like recenter, get a bit grounded. I have a little bit of time off now before I go back to work in the new year. I'm sure a lot of other folks are kind of in a similar boat. And I wanted to just like maybe chat today about maybe using this time to really support ourselves after the holidays and kind of to just kind of rest and recharge a bit before the new year comes.
I love that. I'm an only child, if there's some folks that don't know that, probably most folks listening to this. And so I love being with my family. I mean, sometimes it can be challenging, but I also just need like a lot of alone time. And so now I'm kind of like, okay, let me come back to myself. Let me really rest up and just like feel where I'm at because it's been nonstop during this holiday season. And I do need to get grounded. It would be nice to feel more grounded going into the new year.
Yeah, it's nonstop. And like, I love my family, love spending time with them. Is there some drama? Sometimes, sure. But I think everyone, no matter what relationship they have with family, maybe they aren't going to have family, that this time of year, it can be tough for a lot of folks. It can be draining, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert or what kind of relationships you have. I just wanted to kind of share a little bit about my experience, what I've been going through, and maybe get some guidance from the tarot and a little bit of support from energy healing on this theme. And I think it might resonate with a couple other folks out there, especially if you are a little bit more woo or spiritual. You can feel it. You can feel it in your energy levels. I feel like I can see it in my skin, even like when I need more support, when I've been spending too much time focused on things that aren't bringing me specifically peace, joy, happiness. Yeah, I had a green smoothie this morning for breakfast after like eating like nothing but bacon and panettone for like the last 2 days. I just want to do that same thing, but for my soul now, if that makes sense. Let's have a green smoothie for my soul.
I love that. Also, um, I definitely want to say this can be a really, really, really tough time for a lot of people. I've cried on lots of Christmases and during these holidays. And so I also want to say that it is a Cancer full moon today as we are filming, which is a very emotional time. And so I hope you take care of yourself. And if you can add some more self-care to your life, know that we are with you, thinking of you. Yeah, let's take that green smoothie. I think we could all use some.
Step into the smoothie shop then. Do you have any questions for me before I start kind of shuffling might be able to hear that, shuffling my tarot cards and starting to pull? Anything you want this reading to focus on?
Like to me, it's kind of like, how do I come back to myself? How do I reconnect with myself? How do I ground? I feel like I don't want to say a piece missing, but it just feels like I need something. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. What came up for me when you said that was maybe like something needs to be in focus, like maybe it's a bit blurry
Ooh.
right now and we just need a little bit of focus on it. So I'm going to pull 4 cards for us today. I'm going to pull one card that kind of answers specifically what you just spoke to. And then I'm going to do like a mind, body, spirit spread. All right, so here we go. I'm just cutting the deck in two and starting to pull. So if you're listening now, just take a breath and maybe let your belly relax a bit. And I, I I'm gonna show you these cards, gonna walk you through their meanings and I'm gonna share what I see. Okay, so the first card I wanted to talk about that kind of responds to this theme of like how do I land, how do I ground after this kind of intense period of the holidays. So we got the Four of Swords. This card is, I think, the most gentle message in the Swords deck. The Swords journey can be pretty intense. And we may have another sword card in our spread today, just as a quick little heads up. So the Four of Swords, to me, especially in this deck, which is like depicted there, you can see a little lamb with his little legs curled up under them. They're really cozy and sweet looking, and they have this kind of sun radiance effect on their forehead, and that's kind of like their inner awareness, and it is really bright and it's illuminating. And above, you'll see their four swords kind of pointed down, and this does appear to be like a really dangerous angle. Like it looks like these swords could fall and cause harm, but the lamb is really soft and unbothered. So I want you to consider that even though you have all this like crap in your house right now from maybe Christmas gifts, even though you might be whacked out of your routine, even though there's all these things going on, you might have rubbed up against some family members who have different values than you during the season, even though there's all this stuff that could be kind of painful or intrusive, we're okay. We're okay because we know ourselves. We know what matters to us. We know deep down what we need to be supported, and we know who the bleep we are. Who we know who we are. So it doesn't really matter if there's all this stuff going on. Okay. A look at our mind, body, and spirit spread. The first one we got is the Two of Wands. So this is in the mind position. So right now, kind of like what's going on in our little noodles, we might be not exactly certain where things are headed. And that's okay because we're going to figure that out together. And one thing I want you to let guide you right now, I want you to be guided by right now is your passions. And I want you to kind of lean into those things that make you feel excited and lit up. So for me, I'll talk about my smoothie again. I found a green smoothie recipe. I was super jazzed to try it. So I wanted to get more vegetables in, and I love it. It's interesting, it's fun, and I'm so excited to go to the grocery store later today and get more ingredients so I can pre-make these little smoothie packs because it feels exciting to me to just rip open a pack in the morning, chuck it in a blender, and have like a nutritious kind of start to my day. That excites me. So I'm going to lean into that more. I'm going to pick the ingredients really mindfully and support myself through that. These are almost like water dowsing sticks on this card. On the card, there are two wands. They're kind of pointing together in a V formation. And to me, this reminds me of like water dowsing sticks. But instead of using it to find water, we're using it to find what's going to light us up, what's going to make us feel excited and nourished and sustained. So it can be a little bit of a snoozy season in between things, in between calendar years, in between get-togethers. So in the midst of all this kind of snooziness, I think it's really important for your mind to be occupied by trying to seek out those things that are going to bring you closer to your passions. And this is the wand is a suit of element of fire, right? So get spicy with it. Yeah. The next one we got for body is actually the Seven of Cups. So what this tells me in the body position is that we might be a little bit confused about how to feel right now. There might be a little bit of contradiction. Things might not be that clear. Like I talked about getting things into focus earlier. I think things are really unfocused right now, and we're feeling that in our bodies. In this card, there are 7 cups. One of them is turned upside down. There's a sun and a moon, kind of like represents like polarity, tension, kind of the difference between who we are during the day, who we are at night. And I just think that this card, there's a lot of like confusion about which direction to take, little confusion about what is going to make us feel better. So, if there's uncertainty there, I'd really encourage you to go back to this card we got earlier and remember, like, I know myself. I know myself. I know myself. Go back to what you know to be true about yourself. What that might look like for me is if I'm feeling really funky and I don't want to do anything, I know that if I prioritize getting a workout in, that I will feel better. Almost always. Almost always. The evidence shows it's like a 98%. It has happened before that I felt worse after. That does happen, but not really that often, especially for me. So just know yourself, know what makes you feel good, know like, and just like take a little bit more responsibility for yourself here too, in terms of guiding yourself. Um, Similar to this card, like making conscious decisions to kind of guide yourself towards those things that are going to make you feel a little bit more present, a little bit more grounded in your body. That might look like tapping. I think the energy healing we're going to get in a few minutes is probably going to really help with that. But yeah, I would really encourage you to do something to move your body, to bring some freshness, some circulation, whatever that looks like for you. I know I'm going to be taking a walk in the sunshine later. So yeah, a little bit confusion about what's going on here. So when in this confused phase, I would just say go back to what you know works. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to do something new. You just need to take care of yourself. The final card we got is in our mind, body, spirit spread. So this is representing the spirit. It's how can I say this? I'll just show you the card. This is the 10 of Swords card, and it is depicted by a bull with horns, and it has 9 swords in its back and 1 sword now through its eye sockets in its skull. The imagery is dark, it's heavy. And I think that a lot of us could feel just kind of battered by this season, just kind of wrecked by, just kind of drained by it. And that's perfectly acceptable to feel overwhelmed, to feel like there's nothing left. That feeling of there not being anything left and kind of like that rock bottom feeling, like that's just a very normal place to be. And a great thing about that is that if you're having that awareness that it's tough right now, that's actually a gift. It's a gift to be even able to be aware and to name that, be like, hey, like things aren't going as well as I would like them to. I mean, I'm feeling drained. This was a tough season for me. I would like things to change. Great. That's perfect. That's realization. That's just data. We don't need to linger in this phase too long. People can, and they get stuck in kind of like a self-pitying, like I want to say like water spout or cyclone that just drags them down. So if this card came up for a client of mine, I would really encourage them to lean into their mental health resources, whether that's their therapist, whether that's their trusted friend, or maybe their journal. Really just like kind of put words to what's making you feel this way, to let it kind of get a little bit of movement in there. And the great news about the 10 of Swords is that this is the end of a cycle. This is the end of a cycle. A cycle is ending and a new cycle will begin soon. And we may have a whole new opportunity to start a new journey of sorts, one where we learn to communicate our needs better, one where we are speaking our truth and acting in a way that's more aligned with who we really are. So I do think that really good things are around the corner, and it's just totally acceptable to need to hold this 10 of Swords energy a little bit longer, to just let that kind of move through you. Almost like the holiday season can also be a little disappointment because it's very overhyped. It's very over sensationalized in the media. And, you know, if you didn't get what you wanted on your Christmas list, if you didn't hear an I love you back from a family member, if there was something that left you feeling disappointed, just know that this is like actually the perfect time for you to feel disappointed for a little bit before moving on. And in the meantime, lean on your mental health resources, move your body, and can remember to keep moving towards those things that light you up, make you feel excited, and kind of tap into that element of spiciness or fire. I think that's where you're going to find the movement there. So that's what came up for me in my super fast reading. I feel like I was talking for a while. Brian, how did that land for you? Do you have any questions for me about the cards I pulled?
Wow. I took notes. That was Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, when you said we're okay, we know what we need. Like when you said we're okay, like I took a deep breath because it's so true. And I think, like, at least for me, I can get so looped on like feeling stressed and blah, 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 and being overwhelmed. But it's like, I do know I am okay. And so that was just so nice to hear. And, there's always going to be something going on. Right. And so it's nice to know that our little lamb is safe right now. And then that last bit, that 10 of swords. Whew, that is a gruesome card if if you're not watching the YouTube. It it makes so much sense. This is also kind of like a no man's land time for me at least, is between right before the new year. And it felt so good to hear like a cycle is ending, but also, I don't let myself be disappointed. I suck it up and I'm like, well, whatever. I didn't want it anyway, or this is just how it is. But like being disappointed is powerful, and I need to feel those feelings. And so, you know, do I want to feel them right now? Not exactly, but maybe in a couple days when I feel a little bit stronger to hold those heavy emotions within myself, maybe I'll be like, there was some disappointment. This is what I'm disappointed in. I'm going to hold it. And then I'm going to just sit with it. How about for you?
Be-
Like what came up
Beautiful,
for
yeah.
you?
Well, I liked hearing your reflection, and that piece about feeling disappointed. Yeah, a lot of us, I think, rush ourselves out of that because we don't want to be a brat. We don't want to be a burden to others, and so we just rush along with it. That's a surefire way to ensure you get disappointed again. Dealing with it in advance is better. Um, at the risk of sounding like a brat, well, I got a gift from my significant other. It was a book about pigeons, and it has lots of like pigeon illustrations in it and stuff. And I was just really confused by this because, and don't worry, they're not going to listen to this podcast. We can talk about it because I only read horror and romance books, and it's pretty evident that that's what I read because they're always on my nightstand. I always talk about them, and I just don't see myself sitting down to read this entire book about pigeons. But they got it for me because they thought it was cute. They know I love pigeons, and I'm always like, "Oh, look at that beautiful pigeon over there. They're so sweet. Like, I love them." I do that, but the truth is, I don't want to sit down and read a whole book about pigeons. So instead of feeling disappointed, what I did is let myself feel disappointed. I didn't say this is a bad gift. You gave me a bad gift. You're a bad person for this. I just said it's not really something I would pick out for myself. I love that you thought of me, and maybe we can read it together. So now I'm transforming this disappointment into connection with my significant other because now we're going to look at a pigeon book together. I'll tell you how it is. But if I didn't let myself if I didn't tell myself the truth about that disappointment, then it would have just been a bad experience for everyone. So feel disappointed. It's okay. You have permission. I'm giving you permission to be a little bit disappointed about something. Feel it, and then generally you kind of move on after. But you won't move on if you don't let yourself feel it. So yeah, I think I'll have to listen to this back to really hear my own wisdom because when I'm reading, I'm just kind of channeling. And so it comes out before I even know what I said. But I'm sure there's something in here for me, especially about this this Seven of Cups card really spoke to me about uncertainty. Night is day and up is down, and I don't know. And there could be anything in these cups. I'm not really sure. The only way to find out is to try. And so be a little bit less in your head about it and a little bit more in your body about it is kind of like the message I got from that. But what do you need to hear anything else from me to kind of guide you as you kind of step into our energy healing session now?
I don't think so. I think, I do think that I wrote down like making conscious decisions on connecting to our passions and to take care of our body. So I want to like let in space for the energy to like support that in some way.
Yeah.
I also want to do something just around like being gentle with ourselves, giving ourselves a hug for that like 10 of swords and 4 of swords moment. But is there anything else that's sticking out for you?
To me, just like grounding, there might be some kind of like uncertainty kind of bubbling up, kind of like fizzing up for us. So maybe just like a release and then a support kind of thing rather than just like throwing on a bunch of stuff. I think there's already a lot going on for me in my body, at least, I think, in my energy.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Let's simplify it to make ourselves feel more grounded. Okay. Okay, let's get to it. Also, thank you for that beautiful reading. I definitely needed to hear that. And I am the same way, like the things that come out when I'm doing this energy healing, like I'm not always conscious of it because it's like a connection. So I always like re-listen to our things too. And I'm like, oh, I needed to hear that, or I needed this energy healing too. Okay. So again, just like let your body feel relaxed. Feel where your body's touching something solid. Just really take peace, like feel the peace of your breath, breathing deep. Maybe let's do a one of my favorite breathing techniques where it's where you breathe in and then you pause and you take another like sip of breath and then release. So breathe in, hold another little breath, release. Another one. You can keep doing that if that feels good, but I'm going to wrap us up in a big bubble of light, that which only supports, your most loving, joyful, kindest, gentlest, softest. Uh, like a big hug, highest and greatest good can come through this bubble. And that which only is for, what you need to hear in a complete way, in a gentle way. And we thank the earth. We thank your spirit team, any spirit guides, beloved ancestors, beloved past ones, beloved animals, any master healers to be with us now to help us receive what we need to receive, heal what we need to heal, release what we need to release. Okay. And I'm going to connect to your energy. Now's a great time to set that intention. Perhaps you know what you need to release. Perhaps you know where you need like some extra space in your body or your life, or maybe you don't and you just like want to feel better, whatever it is. You can actually say your intention out loud or to yourself. Okay, I definitely feel a lot going on. So let's imagine a giant trash can and a big vacuum cleaner or magnet, and we're just really going to take all of that excess stuff and put it in this trash can, the things we don't need. Maybe it's other people's energy, maybe it's society. I mean, honestly, even going to the grocery store is very chaotic around this time. Ooh, that away. We're just allowing the angels to release that. Oh, that good? Yes. And then I'm feeling like this is interesting. I've never felt this before, but kind of almost outside of us a little bit, we're going to release. It's like another layer. If you believe in past lives or I don't know. I don't know what this is, but we don't need to know. We're releasing. Feel good? Yes. Oof, yeah. That's interesting. As soon as we released that, our energy was able to shine brighter, which is so nice. Just going to work on our adrenals and our stomach real quick just to help with stress. And reminding ourselves that we are okay. And, you know, if you need extra mental health help, please go get it. It's talk to a loved one. Do whatever you need to do to know that you are okay. And like the other side now. We're releasing this energy through our different energetic bodies, our physical, our mental, our emotional, and spiritual. And that spiritual, I'm really feeling that because that's where we got the Ten of Swords. You know what? I think that might have been that further perspective I saw was kind of that like spiritual. Let's see if there's anything else we need with that. We're holding the space to help us release things we need to release in a gentle, loving, complete way. That's right for you and your mind, body, and spirit. And also the right timing. So if this needs to be very gentle over a couple weeks, let that be what needs to happen. Okay. So now let's do some support. Remember, the cards, I loved it. Like connect to your passions. Let's see if anything pops in. I'm going to work on our creative center. And I personally, creativity is like one of my core values. And it doesn't necessarily mean like I like to do a bunch of art, which I do. I like to live creatively. Like I like to support myself in creative ways. So why I'm saying this is there a way to have self-care that's creative to you? Perhaps it's, I don't know, finding a new book to read. Like that's a creative endeavor. Or oh, something in the heart? Yes, something in the heart. Just giving the support there. I'll say it again. This one of my favorite passions is to watch people packing for trips on YouTube. I love it. That's out of the box. Okay, that feels good. Yes. Okay, so passions. Now let's connect to creating space for taking care of our body. Ooh. And I think it's really important to remember to be gentle with ourselves and to, we don't always need to take away, we can add. Like, for example, I've been on a real hot chocolate kick lately. And so instead of taking away that hot chocolate because it brings me so much joy, is there a way I could add like another glass of water into my life or a green bean or two? I love green beans. Okay, is there anything else? Just before we end, we're going to send some energy to our heart space. Help give us that extra support, that loving support. For any of those who feel disappointed or have that 10 of swords energy. Wow, this is brought tears to my eyes. I really saw, you know, in the life cycle, decaying matter helps fertilize growth. And so I kind of saw the next cycle of this uh deceased animal where it was like decomposing and a flower was growing like a little sprout. And so that cycle is ending, something new is growing, but we're holding this space so we can feel it and supporting ourselves for holding that space because it can be rough. And like always, if you need extra support, we have that bonus episode that's really here to help support your nervous system. I always recommend it. And of course, again, if you need more support, talk to a friend, a loved one, a medical professional. Sarah and I were just talking about our therapist and how important that is for our lives. Okay, is that good? Yes. So let's start to ground, come back to our bodies. I want you to imagine hugging a tree. This tree loves you. It's filled with love. It's filled with energy and support. You can hug this tree whenever you need to. Also, I'm also getting the image of like hugging sand, like hugging like a mountain, whatever you need. If you don't connect with a tree, of course, do what feels right. And so we're going to let this like natural resource to support our grounding. So feel the energy exchange, feel that earth energy. Feel it going into your heart, into your stomach, your pelvis. It overflows your pelvis, going down deep, deep, deep into your legs, pooling in your feet. And then your feet open up, and then two thick roots go down, 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 deep into the center of the earth. And then we're going to wrap you up in a big bubble of light. And you can imagine that tree, that mountain, whatever, just wrapping their arms around you, giving you that extra support, that extra protection, that extra cocooning. Ugh, your energy feels so much better, friend. Okay. Take a deep breath. We are thanking the earth. We thank our spirit team. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please continue this healing in, again, a way that's perfect and right for you. Give ourselves some love. And thanks for being here, for doing this work, taking time out of your schedule to really support your body, your mind, body, and spirit. Okay. I'm going to disconnect our energy. Please take a few deep breaths. I'm going to send your energy back to you. Call my own energy back to me. How how do you feel?
Thank you. I feel great. I feel like I need a little bit of a date with my foam roller now because I do feel like some stuff kind of released, and I feel like I might actually be able to get into some other places now that I weren't accessible to me. I liked what you said at the end there as well about taking the time, making the time for yourself, especially on a day like today, after all that family Christmas craziness. I really just wanted to rot in bed and not leave. Sometimes that's the right thing to do, and sometimes I need to kind of believe in myself and work on myself. And I'm really just glad I made the time for this episode today because not only did I really need this, but I'm hoping that other folks, when they are searching for this and they're connecting with this, that it brings them relief in the same way that it brings me connection and relief.
Yes, and also to reiterate what I said before, like I've spent many a birthday crying. I've spent many of a Christmas crying. And so just to know that I guess I thought I was alone in this. Like honestly, before TikTok and we would really like share these deep parts of our lives together, I really thought I was alone and feeling miserable or sad or whatever. And so it's so nice to know that that's not true. And I think that's why like working together like this and like showing our own healing journey together is so important because before I was doing this work and I'm like, I'm the only one and I feel crazy and it's so hard. But now I'm like, a lot of people feel this way. It is hard, but like I know it can be gentle sometimes, or I'm not alone in doing this work, or I'm not alone in feeling this way. And I think that's so important, especially like for me as an only child who would just like, that was it. I just had me and my thoughts. And I don't know, this healing, I just really want to reiterate, and it makes me really emotional. Like we are okay. Like your energy felt good. Like our energy felt good. It was just a lot of stuff around it. So just know, like in your heart, that you're good. Like you're good. Take this time for yourself. We're gonna be okay.
That's great. Yeah, it's better together. This is it's better together. You know, we are not meant to be alone, isolated. Hyper-capitalistic patriarchal society seeks to separate you and make you feel like you're the only one, so that you buy things to make you feel better, right? So just know that if you listened to this, that you're doing the anti-capitalist work, you're doing the feminist work, and we're here for you. And we'd love to hear what you thought of this. Thanks so much for listening, and be sure to follow us on Spotify. And if you have the time and you feel inspired, you can even give us 5 stars. And you can learn more about my work at Mystic Rose Tarot. I'd be happy to read for you. And my
Yeah.
friend Ryan.
Yeah, find me on energywithryan.com. I'm actually about to have a new offering that so stay those eyes peep for that, but we can work together one-on-one.
And as a reminder, if you are still feeling a little bit stressed or you need some more support after listening, do be gentle with yourself. This is work. You can check out our episode that supports your nervous system. It's available at any time. And you know what to do. You know how to support yourself. And we're here to help. Thanks so much for listening. Take care.